team acquiring Austin Slater earlier today. How does he complement this roster?
Yeah, really excited about the move. I've talked about it over the recent weeks, just, getting that more roster flexibility, complementary guys, and, bringing in, obviously, McMahon first to be the primary third, but then Rosario and Slater, who both really hit left-handed pitching, really well. You see our lineup tonight, it's lefty heavy, and we have a lot of lefty players, so you have some real complementary pieces for different situations that make you more of a threat as the game moves through. So, he's swinging the bat really well right now, so really excited to get him.
Can you go over the lineup? I don't believe it's been posted.
Oh, yeah, and there's even an outside chance that he gets activated. He's en route, but haven't made that decision yet, depending on weather, takeoff, and all that. Grish in center, Rice at first, Bellinger in right, Stanton DH, Jazz at second, Dominguez in left, McMahon at third, Volpe at short, Wells catching. Warren on the hill.
With Volpe and the defensive struggles, from a player's perspective, former player, what's the balance like between attacking it head on, being super aggressive, versus maybe taking a step back and a mental reset?
What would a mental reset? You mean like not playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have not wanted to do that or decided to do that. I think, clearly he's gone through some struggles here and some key moments, not made some plays. I think Anthony's super tough, and I think he's wired for this. And, believe it or not, everyone at some point, we think of slumps or struggles more offensively. It happens even with really good players on that side of the ball. I've been there many times. My sophomore year in college, I made 18 errors in the first 18 games. That was I was a wreck. All right. Anthony's not even close to that. And, my message to him is, you're really good at this, and that's reality. Like, he's a Gold Glove player. He makes plays that people can't make. He's a playmaker out there. He's made some mistakes on some balls that he needs to nail down. But it happens to guys at different points in their career. I feel like his mental toughness and his wiring will get him through this. And we'll all work, right there with him to get through it too. And I believe his best days are in front of him this year and beyond. So, and even going into last night, there's a number of plays this week. He's played really well. He's made a lot of really good plays. So we got to get there and nail down the ones we need to make. And confident he can do that. And I'll continue to, pay attention to it and make decisions where I see necessary.
What was it like walking around campus during those 18 days?
Whew. You know what? I ended up in left field one day against Stanford going, what am I doing? And I got over it and, figured it out. And, yeah. And then, especially the left side of the field, that's where, third base and shortstops are where the errors occur, right? And, there were different times in my career, and, I feel like in the prime of my career, at my best, I was a good defender over there. But I had moments, most seasons, where a little funk here, it happens. So, got to get him through it. Confident he will.
Gary and Chris.
Not to harp on those 18 errors, but you said you got over it. How?
You just did. I was good enough and worked through it, and you go play. And that's, my message to Anthony, too, is like his preparation is tremendous. Like and, when he answers your guys' question, that's who he is. Like, he's got a really high standard for himself. He works his tail off every day doing the necessary things he needs to do to prepare. But then it's like, you get in your own way a little bit, like, especially when you've made some mistakes. It's like, now you get out there and it's game time. Go play. Go make plays. Go do your thing. Don't, sometimes you sit back, don't make a mistake, and that's not the way to go about it. I've equated it a little bit to like a great free throw shooter, a 90% free throw shooter. It's not like, oh, I got to make this. No, I do my thing every day, and I go do my shoot, and we'll go out there and shoot.
Gotcha. And then just back to Slater. How do you see him being used defensively? Could you put him in all three outfield spots?
Yeah, all three. I mean, more in the corners, but he's played some center in his career too. So, yeah.
And what about first base for him?
I know he's got. I haven't had that conversation with him yet, or gone through transition reports and all that. But I know he has appeared over there. I think even once this year, maybe. So we'll see.
With Slater and Rosario, do you see yourself leaning into being more platoon matchup oriented moving forward?
A little bit. I mean, we haven't had that luxury here, a lot of years, and certainly this year. So having that more kind of moving parts flexibility, gives you some opportunities in key moments of the game to create a platoon advantage. So we'll see.
Chris, can you pass it right behind you?
Aaron, do you think with Anthony it's at all getting in his head at all? The defensive stuff?
I mean, I think we've talked through this, but I don't think as much as you might think, but yeah, I mean, when you're not making plays that you're accustomed to making, that you make all the time and gets loud, I think he handles it very well. I really do think, like, his answers to you are very real. But, he knows he hasn't made plays he needs to make. And, so there's an element of that. But again, I think he's wired for it and mentally tough enough to kind of get through it.
Joe.
Aaron, you just mentioned all the pieces that you have. You said you haven't had that luxury in the past. As a manager, do you feel like you're playing a little more chess, like you're more involved in thinking ahead because you have those pieces that are so flexible?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to take it to chess level, but you make your lineup out with knowing that, a good lefty's going to go, what do we have, 7 or 8 lefties in the lineup today? So you're setting things up to try and net a good at bat for the guys in the lineup tonight, but also, the guys on the bench in a big spot. So, I do feel like our roster's getting to a place where it's the guys complement one another, and that's, you see what some of these, like Toronto's got that going on right now, a real complementary roster where they have some left and right and real position flexibility, and they just kind of fire all game and try and create advantages. Boston's created that a little bit the last couple of years with some of their platoon guys. Tampa's done it well over the years. So, part of that is we've got more established players, which is a great thing. So we haven't always had that kind of roster build out, but I think it's important on the outside of your mainstays that are obviously going to be your carriers and that are going to be in there all the time, to have guys that complement one of another and hopefully have a little position flexibility is big.
Roger and Justin.
Aaron, can you fill us in on how Stanton's doing with the outfield work and how you see that progressing?
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been much of it yet. He got out there, I know, the other day. Might get out there today, and just so I think he's eager to do it and start introducing it, and we'll just kind of see. But there's no real update right now.
Justin.
Now, you just listed some of the teams, but when you are facing a complementary roster, how difficult is life for you within the game as the opposing manager?
Well, I think in today's game where the bullpen becomes such an important part of the game night in and night out, having that flexibility and be able to create a good matchup or two, as especially as a leverage guy comes in out of the pen, is a good thing. It's beneficial. So hopefully we can take advantage of that a little bit more now as we round out our roster.
And with Warren on the mound tonight, what have you liked about way with Warren pitching tonight? What have you liked about the way he's kind of played up to his strengths with that fastball this season?
Yeah, I mean, that fastball is really both the sinker and the four seam have been a really good pitch for him. And look, I think on balance has been a really good season for him. He's gone through some growing pains. He's taken his lumps, but I feel like responded well at every turn. And I think has gained a lot of confidence in the process and knows that he has the necessary equipment and weapons to go out there on a nightly basis and pitch successfully if he executes. So he's had a lot of success this year. He's had some struggles as well, and I feel like he's responded to all that pretty well.
Bob and Barry.
Excuse me.
And just following up on one more on Volpe, when you made 18 errors, I'm sure that you did not get booed by 45,000 people, right? Mm-hmm. And the crowd is starting to give it to Volpe pretty good. And this is a player who's been popular, well-liked, successful all the way up. He's never been exposed to this. Are you worried about – I mean, it takes a special player to tune that out. Stanton can, but he's a veteran. He's 10 years older. So I'm just wondering if you think that –
Yeah, I'm not that worried about that part of it. Look, that's a factor. Look, I bet you every guy on this shirt's been booed here, at one point or another. It's – seriously, I mean, you play this game and you play it well enough and long enough, you're gonna have your moments. In 2003 when I got traded here at the deadline, my first home series, Mariano Rivera was getting booed after he blew a couple saves, and I was taken aback by it as a new player here, but it's like, it's part of it. It's you gotta. That's part of the navigating of a big league career, especially a big league career in a big market and in New York. And I'm confident that Anthony's, again, his mental toughness, his routine, and I feel like his wiring is cut out to get through it. There's some pain that goes with it, but I think he'll get through the other side.
Barry.
Yeah, Boone, and to your point, Judge was booed here a couple of years ago too. So the question I had was, you've been pretty bullish about the moves the club's made so far, from your comments the last few days. Mm-hmm. With Heel coming back, do you still feel like you'd like to have another starting pitcher?
Look, we got probably 26 hours, a little less than that, till the deadline. I know the boys are in Tampa grinding away at it, having a million conversations and a lot of balls in the air, so we'll see. There's no guarantees. I would love for us to be able to add a piece or two, on the mound or in some way, shape, or form that, make us a better club. But you never know. So, and that's certainly out of my hands and out of our hands tonight. We got a game to go out and try and win. So we'll see what happens. And if something does happen, then, I'll have an opinion on it.
Okay, well, let me ask you in another way. Would you be happy with the way the starting rotation is constituted for the rest of the season the way it is right now?
Yeah, I expect us to go perform every night. So whoever we run out there, Will Warren tonight, I got a lot of confidence that he can go pitch well and help us win a game tonight. So, and we'll move on from there. So we'll see.
Last one, Peter.
Just wanted to ask what the reports on Heel were today after he cleared that last hurdle last night, potentially.
Yeah, good. Susan told me he was electric, so that's what it seemed. I haven't watched his whole outing yet. I probably will get to that at some point today or tomorrow. I saw some of the highlights, and the line was obviously good. Saw him today coming in from, I think he's running out on the field. So I know he feels ready to go. So we'll be really excited to get him back this weekend.